Who actually needs a next-wave CNC Shark HD510 sitting in their garage or small workshop? I spent the last couple weeks digging into the real-world fit, the hidden setup headaches, and whether the $349 Vcarve software bundle is worth the asking price. If you're on the fence about dropping this much cash on a CNC that can route wood, engrave acrylic, and even dabble in non-ferrous metals, the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the people who should probably skip this machine. If you're just dabbling in weekend projects or you only cut inch plywood once a month, a desktop router or a basic laser engraver will save you space and cash. The HD510 weighs in at 140 pounds and needs a solid table or stand. It's not something you can will out of the closet and tuck back in 10 minutes later. If your garage floor isn't level or you don't have a dedicated 24-foot footprint, the setup alone can turn into a weekend project. Also, if you're only cutting softwoods and you've never touched CAD/CAM, the learning curve on Vcarve plus the machine's calibration steps will feel steep until you've run a few test cuts. Now, who actually ends up happy with this thing? Woodworkers who already own a table saw and a decent dust collection system and want to add fine detail work without buying a second machine. Hobbyists who prototype small signs, jewelry boxes, or guitar inlays find the 1,218-inch cutting area plenty for one-off pieces. Small makers who sell on Etsy or at craft fairs use it to batch cut acrylic earrings or personalized coasters. The interlocking slotted aluminum table is the real unsung hero. Once you slide in a few T-slot clamps, you can secure odd-shaped blanks without wrestling with clamps every 5 minutes. That alone shaves off setup time on repeat jobs. The Vcarve Desktop software that's now bundled is the piece that pushes this from nice router to serious tool. If you've ever priced Vectric software separately, you're looking at $349 off the top, so the bundle saves you enough to cover a decent end mill set. The workflow is straightforward once you get past the initial learning curve: design in Vcarve, export toolpaths, zero the machine with the touch plate, and let it run. I ran a test batch of 50 personalized cutting boards with a 1/16-inch V-bit for the lettering. The repeatability was solid, and the machine didn't drift even when I pushed feed rates up to 60 IPM in hard maple. That kind of consistency is what separates a hobby toy from a production aid. Where the machine shows its age is in the fine print details. The Z-axis travel is only 3.5 inches, so if you're trying to carve deep 3D reliefs or cut thick aluminum stock, you'll hit the limit fast. The included clamps are basic aluminum bar clamps that don't grip curved edges well. Upgrading to a set of T-nut clamps or vacuum hold-down is almost mandatory for anything beyond flat stock. Dust collection is another weak spot. There's a 2.5-inch dust port, but the hose adapter is proprietary, so you'll need a reducer or a custom bracket to fit standard shop vac hoses. If you're cutting MDF or plywood without an external dust shoe, expect a fine white film on every surface within a 5-foot radius. Setup is the real gauntlet. The HD510 ships with the gantry partially assembled, but you still need an hour to square the rails and tram the spindle. The manual is decent, but the illustrations assume you already know what tramming means. If you've never leveled a CNC before, budget an extra evening for YouTube tutorials and a precision level. The good news is that once it's dialed in, it stays dialed in. The heavy-duty aluminum frame and steel gantry don't flex under normal loads, so you're not chasing calibration after every job. Maintenance is minimal but specific. The linear rails need a light coat of whey oil every couple months, and the spindle bearings will squeal if you run it dry. Next wave includes a small bottle of grease, but it's not enough for a year's worth of use. Spare belts and a backup spindle collet set are worth ordering at the same time as the machine. They're cheap insurance against wear and tear. Bottom line: if you already cut wood or acrylic for fun or profit and you're ready to commit to a mid-sized machine that can grow with your skills, the HD510 is a solid pick. The bundled Vcarve software alone justifies the price for anyone who sells custom work. If you're a casual crafter or you're still deciding whether CNC routing is your thing, look at smaller routers or a laser first. This machine will eat both time and space. Check the link in the description if you want to dig into the specs and see whether the HD510 fits your shop.